All right, and this is another video related to the Internet of Things, but I'm going to show you, we're going to talk about the other piece here, which is the web server. Now, you can, of course, have your own web server, but if you're working as an individual and you want to test your application, it'd be nice to have your own server and that has everything that you need, which is the database, the PHP or the application part to it, and be able to configure it. So I've been using Wamp server. So what you can do is that you can go and download Wamp server, and let me show you, share the screen for you. Before we do that, so I'm going to show you how to configure Wamp server to be able to use within your application, okay, and within your solution. So let's take a look at this Wamp server. And I already downloaded it. And here it is. Okay, so it depends on what you're serving. I did try it on different machines. I found it to be the best, actually, if you have the latest Windows. I'm running here Windows 10. And it was a lot easier than installing it in Windows 7. I had another computer that I had Windows 7 on it, and it was, the updates were not up to date, and it was asking for these VC runtime missing. So it's not as easy, all right? So my advice, if you have the latest, you gotta make sure that you have the latest upgrade, the latest update on your device, and make sure you have at least Visual Studio installed in it, okay, on your machine, because it needs the C++ libraries, okay. The Wamp server, once you install it and run it, you get like an icon on your screen. All you do is run it. And once you run it, it turns green if you're lucky, and from the first time. Once I told you, once I installed it on Windows 10 with all the updates, it was fine. It turned green from the first time. But I had, as I said previously, I had problems. So the next thing to do is that how do you configure Wamp server? Because you can test it on your machine, no problem. But if you want to be able to access this from another computer, then you need a little bit of work, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, just to show you, if you go to a web browser, if you type in localhost, that's your machine, that's the server that you're running, okay? I actually connected to that Wamp server, all right? Now, if you want to access PHP and MyAdmin, you can actually click on PHP MyAdmin and then type in the username and the password, okay? And this is critical, right? Because the nice thing about Wamp server is that it has everything built into it. Now, there is no such a thing there is no Wamp server that exists on Mac, because I tried that. And it is, there are equivalent, but not the Wamp server. Okay, I like Wamp server. It seems like it's easier to configure. It's easier to get to and then do things. Okay, and then you type in your username and password, and then I'm not going to cover, of course, PHP and MyAdmin here. There are a lot of tutorial to do that, but this is part of that Wamp server. All right. Now, if I wanted to access MyAdmin from another computer, and this is an issue, or I want to access this web server from another computer, then we need to do a little bit of configuration. So I'm going to show you how to configure it, configure Wamp server to access it from another device. Okay, so another device. So I'll do another device. So what I'm going to do here, I'll show you quickly. I'll show you quickly how to do that. If you look at, when you click on the Wamp server, there's Apache, and there's PHP, and there's MySQL. Now, if you look at Apache, and this is what we're interested in configuring it, so it'll be people outside, or not people, I mean, other computers can access this web server. So what you do is that you click on, because you need to do that from Arduino. How would you be able to connect to this web server if you can't see it from outside, right? So if you click on this file, which is http host.config, you click on it, and then this is what you need, okay? Allow, require, all granted. See that? That means that you give access to everybody that wants to access this server, okay? From a different computer, okay? So that is required. This is one part to access the HTTP. The other part that you need to do in here is that how do you give access to PHP admin from outside? Okay, and the way there's a little bit of work here, not too much work, but what you do is that you click on the Wamp again. You click on the Wamp server. You go to the W directory. You just go to Wamp's directory, which is localhost, and under aliases, you see that there is a file. There are a few files. One of them is PHP my admin. You double click on that. And here you have to add require all granted, okay, and that allow people to access, okay, and allow from all, allow people to access your PHP my admin. All right, that is it. And of course, the programming and the PHP and then all of that stuff, I think that you need to do. This is just an overview how to architect a solution, not in details, okay? All right, I'll see you on the next video.